the video cut off. And it's funny because I got three phones now. I recently got a new phone because I paid off my car note, so splurge a little bit. But I insist on recording on like the 11. I got an 11, a 12, and a 16. But yeah, so as I was saying, one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people are so angry, so hateful, and everything is because of the ideology that, like, worth is based upon a man or having a woman, and like this is just the biggest thing to attain in life. And then it's like, okay, a lot of people you get in the field, I was this, I was that, this person didn't appreciate me, this person didn't want me, and that's the problem. Then it's also all of this confusion because it's what, 8 billion people in the world. So let's just say, for the sake of conversation, it's 4 billion men, 4 billion women. Everybody don't think the same. Everybody don't want the same things. So it's like you literally, as per example, you're literally breaking yourself down trying to be, oh, I'm trying to be this for a man, trying to be that for a man, trying to be this for a woman, trying to be that for a woman. Be what God told you to be. And don't do it because, oh, I'm trying to get some grand prize at the end of the day. No. But yeah. So like I said, proof of it is me. So it will never be a day. It will never be a day. This is an exception, but there will never be a day where I will ever have a video like, oh, let's just go and go over the things that's in my trophy. That's my business. Hold on. It's full. There's over 20 pieces of paper. Well, 20 things. This is actually 4 pages. I had to shrink it and fold it up. There's 2 envelopes, and I'm still adding more and more stuff. Like I said, it ain't big enough. So we gonna go to a place that I was back in April. This was my gift for my birthday from God. One of the biggest questions when I was broken was what makes me somebody worth being with, and I got the answers. So this is my hair now. This is dry and everything, but I want to take y'all to where I was back then, which is this picture. That was April. So this is what kind of inspired it. So working on my chapters. This was written May 4th, 2025. So working on my chapters and outlines for the book, there might be a chapter titled Purpose Rests Within God, Not Mankind. One of the focuses on this chapter will be on how being able to understand my worth through God and God alone. Because of him teaching me personally, I no longer have to ever question my worth and wonder why or be insecure about whether or not a man is going to stick around in the face of another woman. My worth rests within the fact that God shaped my heart to be able to care about others and see life outside of just myself and my own household. Because of God teaching me personally, I am a person and a woman who can give aid to others in the areas that we need it the most. This world is hurting. We are a world full of pain, people in pain. I used to question whether or not I was good enough because, under the belief that looks are one of the determining factors of worth, I wasn't and I was never going to be. That's not to say that I ever felt like I was really ugly, but I'm not conceited. I'm not self absorbed. My pride never rested in my physical appearance, and my confidence was not built back up off of my beauty or my body. That's one of the things that makes me valuable. Um, I was also writing about how this knowledge plays a significant role in me no longer being super clingy and acting crazy when it comes to a man. Whether or not I was to ever have a man, a husband, does not add or take away who or what I am as a woman. If I was to get clocked out without ever having those things, nobody can ever say that my life was meaningless. Only God knows what life is going to look like for me by the end of this year, next year, 10 plus years down the line. I want to help people, and that is one of the biggest reasons for me doing the videos in the first place. I share my story, my knowledge, and my God led growth so others can use it as motivation and belief. This is why I'm working so hard on a book. If I can help just 10 people get rid of some of the hatred and pain that's in their hearts, that is enough. Even better if that number increases throughout my life. This is where my worth is. A man will be helpful, a man will be appreciated, but a man is nothing more but just a man and a responsibility that I have been given. And also, before I forget, so let me show y'all this picture. This is a very embarrassing thing, but this was April 25th. I mean, you can't see it, but this was April 25th, 2020, right? I just so happened to come across this one day. This goes back to why I had to go through what I went through, why I had to get beat. Very arrogant. Like I said, I took the glory for myself. Now, the thing about it is everything about the fact that God took me through what I went through, like I said, not to be embarrassed about it, to take pride in it, wear it as a badge. Um, every answer to the question of why am I good enough, it goes back to the fact that God beat me the way that He did. That's all I got to say. So we gonna keep this switch up. So, anyways, when I was in the healing chamber, I wrote about how valuable it is to be somebody, a woman specifically, that gets us solidification from God instead of going about your day to day life seeking it from a man or strangers on the internet. I understand this more and more now. A lot of behavior that we see on a daily basis and the things that we see online are not normal. It seems like it is because we are constantly seeing it. You shouldn't have to set up the camera to brush your teeth. You shouldn't have to set up the camera, like I said, going to the gym, got to do these little dances. Let's gather the whole family, do these little TikTok dances, go sit down somewhere. Anyways, these are people who, regardless of the lie that they tell themselves, they need outside reassurances to feel good about themselves. Whether it's for popularity, a potential climb to fame, money, social media offers you attention and the illusion of being loved and cared for. We all need something, and a mistake that gets made is thinking that people are the answer. God has filled me up to where I don't need things from anybody else. I do not need reassurance. My confidence does not depend on anybody else other than Him. With Him being my source, I am no longer exhausted by striving to find something in others because I have what I need. I'm no longer creating problems in my life trying to find answers in another human being. You hear me, huh? God as the source is equivalent to having my own Pacific Ocean level of water. My needs are met, my wants are met. I'm no longer thirsty because I have been filled, so I can just float on top of the water and enjoy life. People as the source is equivalent to being extremely thirsty and only having a bottle cap as the vessel of water that you can have at a time. Not a cup, not a jug, not a gallon, a bottle cap. Your thirst is never satisfied, and you constantly have to keep reaching out to get filled up by that source. It is never ending because you are constantly being exhausted in a process, which is going to keep you thirsty and needing more. And for example, bottle cap, right? So, what I mean is, I need you. I need this. Give me attention. Give me praise. Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. This is very exhausting. And this is everybody. This is everybody. What you doing? What you doing? I need this. I need this. I need this. You know how good it feels. Then I was saying, like, we're having a Pacific Ocean. Um, I'm able to give aid to other people. Like I said, the knowledge that I have, the knowledge that God gives to me, I can pour out so that other people can use it. You'll understand it one day, if not already. So, anyways, we'll go back to the other picture. Because this is a. So, guess who's finally back after a almost a year-long hiatus? I'm sipping chamomile tea because I gotta go to work in the morning. So we're not really gonna run through too much, but today we just will kind of read off of some things. I had said that the last time I did the video, me getting a trophy and everything, I had said that, it was a championship game, was a battle between who's here now, the broken version of me, or the current version of me, which is the person that was locked up the whole time. And I think that it's kind of funny. that I said that, then like I disappeared. But yeah, we'll talk about the book and everything another time. We'll talk about progress and all that another time. I'm here to handle business right now and let y'all properly finally get an introduction and go to bed. So in my hiatus, one of the things that I definitely had to learn was to stop being so embarrassed about the fact that, because trust, being healed now and everything, and knowing the way that I used to feel, and having to put that out there. If it wasn't for God, trust and believe, y'all would not get that information out of me. So the fact that I didn't have to sit over here and, oh, I was so insecure and I was this and I was that, no ma'am. No. But I had to learn not to be embarrassed, not to be ashamed about it. Well, no reason to be ashamed, but to not be embarrassed about it, because the story is not in the fact that I fell down. It's the fact that God picked me back up. Even at the worst time, I have evidence that we will get to, I already showed y'all, but I have more proof that really paints a picture of how arrogant I was. But yeah, I mean, throughout everything, God was at my worst point. God is at my best point. So, that's what the story is. Not on the fact that, oh, I felt like I was insecure and this, that, and the third. Who hasn't at some point? And then that's another thing, I'm definitely ready to talk about love. Not tonight. I'm sipping on chamomile tea. But, I think I said that already. But anyways, when it comes to love, one of the reasons why, I can't be ashamed about my past, embarrassed about my past, is because in order for people to understand in terms of love, this whole thing is a manifestation, is proof of God's love. The thing that God cares about the most, the reason why we're here, is to sit over here and get, as my pastor would say, get your souls right, get your hearts right. And, a lot of people are so fixated on physical things, getting more money, getting this, getting that, things that are proof that you this, that you that you're blessed. And God don't care about none of that stuff, So manifestation, that's another thing. Because I don't want to talk about love today, it's not why we're here. But anyways, for the sake of conversation, a lot of people, as we will get to, a lot of people are very hurt. A lot of people are dealing with a whole lot of heartbreak in a lot of different ways, a lot of different areas. One of the biggest reasons why a lot of people kind of question if God even exists in the first place is because of the disasters of this world, which all of this is him. But anyways, my thing is, everybody for the most part is always focusing on materialistic things. Oh, you think you somebody because you got a husband, you think you somebody because you got a wife, you think that you got this grand accomplishment, which, purpose rests within God, not mankind. Anyways, it doesn't matter how much money you come into this world. Don't matter if you got a husband, a wife, children, this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, the only thing that God made it very clear that he cares about is your heart, your mind, your deeds, which is the thing that everybody just completely disregards. And that is proof, that is the actual proof of blessings. God, the God that I know, is not a man who knows how messed up that we are as people. He goes sit over here and give you everything in the world and yet leave you suffering in the place that you need it the most. Whew, I didn't expect to say all that. Love just is. Everybody focus on the materialistic things. Having a husband, having a wife, having kids, having X amount of money ain't saving nobody. Which brings us to, like I said, the title of Purpose Rests Within God, Not Mankind. We'll get to the picture. So, in working on my book, one of the things that I really love about, what I'm doing is the fact that, my mind is always operating. And with that, I was able to realize that one of the biggest reasons why that whole situation had such a detrimental effect on me was because of the ideology that, a woman especially is, what do they say? Basically, at the end of the day, if a woman don't have a man, if she's single, then that means that you're not good enough. If, because if you was a good woman, things that I've seen talked about online, if you was a good woman, then some men out there would have appreciated you. They would have did this, they would have did that. So looking at my situation and looking at everything, I just kind of felt like, well, I must not be good enough, because where's the man? So the biggest problem with, putting people's main focus and determine our worth based upon whether or not you got somebody, it breeds a lot of desperation to have something for the wrong reasons. And this is something that will be talked about chapter 1. Like I said, I finally figured it out. This was something that will be talked about chapter 1. It breeds a high level of desperation in people to have something. We don't know what we're doing. We're doing it for the wrong reasons, first of all. And it's just, when you're sitting over here making your main focus, oh, I'm trying to have a man, you got a lot of men, I'm doing this and this and this, specifically because you're trying to get a woman. Of all the keepsakes I have to remember the things that God has done for me, my hair is usually the biggest gut punch, because it is such a profound reminder that nothing was wrong with me in the first place. I also use this to help me write about purpose being within God and not a man, not mankind. Placing too much value on imperfect and unstable people and not being able to let go of what clearly needed to be, because I mistook my own worth and where it rested. So and so was not the reason behind my problems, but Lord knows one of the best things that He could have and a lot of other people could have did was just let me go. And it's amazing, you know what I mean, how much you grow when certain things get out the way. But my hair is also a punch, because I really was searching for a problem within myself, thinking that it was physical, and that searching did so much damage. Beautiful and healthy head of hair, and I was too busy trying to change myself to look like others, to the point I damaged it beyond repair. And I never needed to die in the first place. So I said it was 4 pages. That was 2. And then, like I said, you can't really see it, but every now and again, when things kind of start to unfold, I like to go back and visit John, especially in Second Thessalonians. So at the time, I had put down John 15 from the first to 6. I'm the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Because let's put the picture back up, because it kind of correlates with this. So I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that bear not fruit, He take away, and every branch that bear fruit, He purge it, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now you are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you, and I was told to read John a long time ago. So, anyways, abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abide in the vine. No more can you except you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abide in me, and I in him, the same bring forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. Oh. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, and men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. And then also from 15, which is 16, you have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain. And whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, He gives it to you. This is 2023, and it's 2025, and look how things are shaping out. Bubs is coming. No. With the way things have shaped out, and me understanding that the value of my heart 100% rests in God and how He is making me to be somebody to help others. I remember that this was slightly mentioned in John. This chapter will always be special to me because He told me to read it. He is allowing me to bear fruit, and this fruit can help others, and I literally do not take any of this for granted. So yeah. And hopefully, I got enough time. We're not discussing everything else that's on here. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna let y'all know. That's on here. Trophy. So then we're going to take it to something that's similar to what I posted, and I almost came back then. But I said, you know what? I, I said, I don't really have to make a video. I don't really have to make a video. I could just. But yeah, I was here back in April. And this is not going in a book. This was something that would more likely be on a website whenever that's gonna happen. Because the book was never gonna get written in a year. So when is the website gonna get, I don't know. One thing at a time. So this is based, I titled it What Do You Strive to Reflect, especially as a woman? Um this is like 7 pages. I'm not gonna try to read the whole thing. Here he come again. The main reason why I could not see the beauty of myself, and I had questions like, why would a man choose a woman like me over all the other options in this world, is because I did not understand the value of who I was, and I needed God for this. I haven't played the video yet. I used to be insecure because of being sexy and having a lot of sexual experience, as some people make it seem, is the base requirement for getting and keeping a man. Then no, I am not good enough. Written from the past before God, I thought I wasn't good enough, pretty enough, whatever. Anyways, so led to believe that sex appeal and ability to perform in the bedroom is the main requirement. Through my own experiences, I started to believe that character did not matter because I was always looked over for sex appeal and seemingly passed over for what was more physically appealing, and sometimes just because they was offering, something for right now. Guys who would claim that they liked me, they would not stick around too long, and sometimes, once something more attractive came along. My perception has changed, boy, let me tell you, but we'll get to that another time. Right now, we're going to talk about this. So we go start the video. If you needed to hear me, this is how I think now. So I said, with God opening up my understanding, I began to realize that lust has its place, but it's not the most important thing. And this picture I had, you can't really see it, but it's like a city on fire that we're starting to see now, ain't we? So the above picture, this is how I see the world now that God has opened up the door for me. A world that is destined to burn, a world that is crumbling around us, and most of us are too blind to see it. I can see the fire starting. I can see the building starting to fall down. I can see how the decisions and where our focus has been placed at now is setting it up for total destruction in the future. In the midst of all of this, you are of pure wickedness if you insist on people's main focus being on you and how great you look. It literally does not matter. Just like, for instance, I've been seeing a lot of, increased killings. I seen videos of, I had seen that video of that girl, the Ukrainian girl that had got killed on the train. I really wish I hadn't seen that, but I did. That was already bad enough, but to also see the hatred that came from that, this is an opportunity for us to be racist. So I had seen videos where there's like anti something in some other country where like this girl just ran up on another woman and just stabbed her and just ran off like it's normal. I seen another video, I want to say it happened last year, where older woman had recently got sentenced. I want to say she's like 34 or something. She just walked around the grocery store with a knife and stabbed a child, like a 4-year-old. And it don't even mention the fact that it's what recently something about how two children, under 10 years old, basically was trying to kill another child. But yeah, let's keep getting our whole family and recording these little TikTok dances and going to Chris Brown's concerts and going to the trail rides and making sure your boots on the ground. Oh yeah, I've seen a lot. Mind you, this is the introduction to who Weston really is. So oh yeah, so then it's also why I say it's wicked. Is because Like I said, this world life right now is about trying to make sure that you get yourself together. When you have a lot of people, especially specifically when it comes to women, who are just like trying to like, don't pay attention to this. Pay attention to me. Look at me. Desire me. Lust for me. Like distract you long enough and nothing but the devil. So yeah, as women, we are being encouraged to be as much of Satan as possible. And it's always important to note that even though it was Adam who needed to eat the fruit, he did not go directly to Adam. He went to Eve, convinced her, and she did the work for him. Talked about that already. Oh, you might have heard that. Excuse me. Satan is somebody who wants and demands praise. He wants to be recognized as number one. He has no issue deceiving because he knows that he won't get what he wants by revealing his true nature and self. Dealing with the average person, if somebody came up to you and said Satan has a message with your name on it, out of here. You ain't trying to hear what that person got to say. He wants praise and recognition, even though there's nothing about him that warrants that. He had never has your best interest in mind, and you're only as good to him for as much as he can use, manipulate, and abuse you. Very selfish. And in terms of love, I don't really want to talk about it yet, but in terms of love, one of the reasons why I'm all about the book is going to be all about more of God, less of people. We sit over here, we make people the main priority. The average person is not capable of love. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Everybody wants something, wants somebody, but love ain't for the masses. You could talk it, you could say it, you could claim it. No. Anyways, he's very peacock, puffed up. He wants all eyes on him. Coming into the knowledge of God and having that door open to me, it opened up my eyes and understanding to just how much pain, agony, hatred, and misery is in this world. We often look past it and don't give it too much recognition because we think that we're not being directly affected by it, and most of the time people just simply don't care. Like I said, I'm not trying to read everything. I said all of this, when I posted the video. Some people don't know where their next meal is coming from, don't know if they get in another meal, people losing their lives left and right. This is not even factoring in the basic day-to-day confusion, anger, and hatred that we all face just as being human beings. Not to mention we can all lose everything that we own with one sort of natural disaster. With all of this corruption, pain, and agony in the world, what are our looks offering people? Nothing but a distraction. Then I also had said another way to word it was with all of the disaster, pain, and hatred, we are led to believe that our greatest contribution to the world is the ability to be sexually appealing when it holds no value at the end of the day. I learned that being God serving, God fearing is all about getting in the field, getting to work, being an aid and service to others. It's not a once in a lifetime thing. It's a lifelong process and it does not require money. One of God's many titles is comforter, and this is something that we should strive to reflect in ourselves. Now, you got a lot of people, the best thing about them, you only able to make other people feel worse than what they already do. And this is why I said sincerity and lack of compassion. And this is why I also said that God beating me is one of the biggest reasons why I am as valuable as I am. Because I don't have a right to look down on nobody. Very blessed, very privileged. God taught me it could be you at any given time. And the only reason why it ain't is because of him. That's it. A lot of people need a reality check. Yeah, God is the definition of true power and strength. Yet he does not strive to be seen. He is strength, yet he has no issue letting it be thought of that he is weak. Make sure the microphone is still on. One of the things that aids in me being able to keep my head and not get sucked into what others are doing and what is being shown online is the fact that I strive to reflect God himself, and I know the value of that. The beauty of being a woman and what a woman is supposed to represent by God's intentions has been narrowed down from being a backbone of society to now only being masters of seduction. In life, the world does not function, nor does it continue without the woman. It is being made to seem and convince us that being number two is an insult, it's a disgrace, and something that we should fight against. However, we are just as, if not more important than men, and that importance is not narrowed down to our beauty. What comes from us and our decision making shapes the next generation and automatically sets up somebody for success or failure. A lot of people only focus on the financial. Let me see. Yeah, I already said that. Like I said, I'm not trying to read everything because we gotta go. Um, with that being said, it is evident that most women nowadays are reflections of Satan with the means and a desire to lure and to entice and trap. It is being made to seem like the best thing about a woman is to make a man crazy and lust. The dumber and the more desperate he is the praise. The more he is willing to do in order to get with you, the better. The more he is willing to do in order to keep having you. Some people feel like it's a brag. Delusion to believe that this is a reflection of our worth. Satan complex is more accurate with wanting all of that attention, wanting to be desired, wanting all eyes on you, and wrongly feel like you should be worshipped. A lot of times they don't have, men included, they don't have no real interest in serving at any capacity, especially when it is little to no benefit to them. But they want to be served and waited on hand and foot, just like Satan. So oh yeah, this is good part. With women, it has always been more of an honor to have several men lusting over you far more than it is to have a bunch of men actually respecting you. We treat lust and the fact that several men are willing to sleep with us as the highest honor a woman can have, especially if this sexual desire can be maintained throughout older age. However, under God, being looked at sexually is the most disrespectful place for a woman. It's even called a sin. We are consistently narrowed down to the lowest common denominator as if our sole purpose on this planet is to lure men away from having decent sense. This lust does not honor us, and most times it does not even recognize us as human beings, more like objects to be desired and a place to get off on and in. This is me easing back into things. Let it be told, the best thing about a woman is the ability to induce lust, but the greatest thing about us is directly tied to the thing that makes us stupid as human beings, and a feeling and a desire that usually leads to regret, hatred, disgust, anger, and resentment. There is nothing positive about this. This is not nothing to be celebrated. So at the time of me writing this, and it probably did aid in me writing it, one of the reasons why I wrote it was because Anthony Edwards was in the news. But I never looked into it because I don't care. But I had seen people saying that he went to child support court and basically said that he wanted to pay the full money up front because he don't care nothing about the child, he don't care nothing about the woman. He just want to go ahead and get it over with. So I had seen a lot of men that thought that it was funny and said they would probably do the same thing. A lot of men was also saying that regardless, it is understandable when a man chooses not to get involved with the kid or stick around because of how difficult some women make it. I've seen a whole lot of that. Ain't seen a whole lot of, well, maybe we shouldn't be pulling down our drawers and sticking our toy soldier up in somebody we don't really like. But anyways, well, we gonna be in for a ride. A show for the fact that several men have no issue laying down and using a woman for sexual pleasure. Yet, most of the time, if their actions and choices with these same women end up being met with unpleasant consequences, they don't like that woman and they don't have no issue trying to hide it. This is why so many people are so miserable as adults, whether that responsibility was put on or forced upon a person, whether or not you were a child that was made through two adult stupidity and their inability to control their lust. A lot of people get along, when it's time to get in the bed, take your drawers off, and you don't really like each other. That child of Anthony Edwards will always be ridiculed because of the fact that his dad never wanted nothing to do with him, and that will carry in his or her life forever. That is on both parents. So I was saying that respecting you, and mind you, this goes back to how make it seem like the best thing about a woman is the ability to induce lust in a man. If you thought you needed to hear me say it, the ability to do induce lust in a man, but lust only brings about destruction. One of the biggest reasons why a lot of people are so miserable now is because they place destruction as the center of their lives. God taught. God taught, and obviously this tea ain't working. Nah, it's cool. Nah, it's cool. So, anyways, respecting you does not usually yield attention, and lust always has similar characteristics to actually being liked, and plus, it goes without question that you are desired. Respect does not get you chased. Respect keeps a man in check instead of him willing to do anything just to get with you. Tell you anything just to get with you. And that's another thing, because I'm not even gonna go there right now. We will talk about that another time. Lust has always been made to seem like it's more powerful because it takes true willpower and discipline. Oh yeah. And then, just to close out with this, um, when it comes to like princess treatment, because I talked about it, I already showed y'all the proof. I was arrogant, took the glory for myself. God got in the field when he was Jesus Christ. That's the example to follow. He didn't place himself. Don't go put yourself someplace else. Don't go placing yourself someplace that he himself wasn't. So, in terms of princess treatment, this is like I said, this is a long time ago, but in terms of princess treatment, let's just say that if you are technically a princess, the princess treatment is like, oh, we need to be waited on, and I deserve this and I deserve that, and the only reason why we deserve it is because we're women and we exist, whatever the case is. Well, my father don't teach that kind of arrogance, obviously, because I got beat for it. If you are a princess, somebody was there before you. Somebody is in charge over you. Most of the time, that person is a man. So when my father will literally beat you to death, beat you senseless, I know, beat you senseless if you think that you got a right to walk around with such a level of arrogance. So yeah, who teaches who teaches I deserve the world and you ain't doing nothing for it? So yeah, I think that's enough for today. That's enough for tonight. So, I'll see y'all another time.